This female, if I was a betting man and I would have bet on one boa having babies this past season, I would have put it on her. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily. Today we're going in and looking at boas because I was in my snake room the other day and I said, you know what? My females are getting really big and nice and plump because breeding season is a-coming. And I want to show you some of the female boas that we're going to be breeding this year here at Palumbo's Pythons and Boas. Some of them are first-timers. Some of them are snakes that are, have been proven breeders for me. But it's fun to see them nice and plumped up because we don't feed our boas that much during the year, maybe every other week, every third week. As we get closer to breeding season, we have to up that to make sure they have enough meat on them and enough extra energy so that they can get through the hard months, the 120 days or so of carrying those babies in their belly before they deliver. So without further ado, where's Jedi? There he is. There's my little boy. He's come out here to say hi. Without further ado, we're going to go into the snake room. Stay tuned. All right. I want to check out my Snow Splash Kenyan sand bower. I haven't seen him in a few days. See what he's doing. Oh, there she is. Oh, she ate. Yeah, Papa said she ate a bigger prey on him. Look, she's getting bigger. Wow. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Oh, she's going to go right back into her little tunnel she made for herself. And we'll let her do that. Kind of cool. I love this. This stuff I'm using is known as coconut core. So it's like the I don't know. Most coconut husk is thick and bulky. This is like the the sawdust that's left afterwards. And you can buy it. It's called coconut core. I got it on Amazon and it's great. I could actually probably filter it out of the cocoa blocks I got too. Now this is a Leucistic wolf snake. I've shown you this one. This one's been growing too. He's been eating really well. And Pablo's trying to feed him like two fuzzies a week. And so he's been putting on some nice size. Zoom a little bit. And they like it a little bit more moist, so I do spray him down every day. And he's on the coconut core too, and he seems to be doing well on it. Once he gets a little bigger and I know he won't escape on me, I'll put him in a nice display cage, even though he probably won't do anything display-wise, but he's just so beautiful looking. Black eyes, leucistic body. All right, today we're going to be showing you these big boas I have that are hopefully going to be breeding. I've been growing this beautiful big scoria female since 2019. She is a scoria that's het for blood and is parahet, which means that she might be she's either het for sharp albino or het for boa woman caramel T positive. And I have two sisters I kept back in 19, and I've been trying to breed them for the last couple of years. No luck. Interestingly, we're here in October, and I kind of cohabitate this male with this female because this is a big 6-foot-old freedom breeder that I have. So there's so much room in here. I just kind of have to be careful when I feed him. I kind of separate them on both sides. But this male is a double het. It's het for blood and parahet as well. So it's kind of a head-to-head breeding, and the odds are big. But she's a big girl, and I don't know. It's funny. I didn't know if they would ever go. And I just, I'm just going to leave them together, kind of experimental. So here we got it. Could we produce a scoria blood paradigm or scoria blood sharp albino maybe? Who knows? Who knows what that would even look like? No one's ever made one. So I don't know if they're locked. It looks like they could be, but they're definitely in the right position. So will she produce this year? I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. I've had some bad luck. Every male I put with this female, there's only been one or two, have died for some reason. I don't think she killed them. It's just weird. The last male didn't do well with her. I don't know what happened. Took him out, put him back in his cage after the breeding season because nothing happened. And he just didn't make it. So let's see if this one works out. All right, here's a big double het sterling blood. So she's het for sterling, which is the patternless boomorph, recessive boomorph, and then she's also het for blood, which we know what that does. Now, I've seen some sterling bloods produced this year for the first time. I was hoping to produce them myself maybe this past year. I didn't do it. I'm happy it was done. They're really nice looking, and hopefully we'll get her to go because she's a big girl. Now, if those of you who ever worked with sterlings, sterlings are big. They're big snakes. So a lot of times it takes longer than you would expect to get these guys to breed because they got to get up to size, and it just takes them longer because they have to get bigger. She's I think she's big enough finally. So I might even introduce a male to her, and probably within the next week or two, see if she'll start breeding. She's big. She's got to be ready to go. And here's my other scoria sister. Looks like she just shed, you know. And she, same genetics, scoria, power het blood. Now because she's also power het, she can be, because she's power het, she can also be het for blood. Because she's power het, she can also be het for sharp albino or boa woman caramel. So maybe we'll get lucky. One of them will be het for sharp albino. One will be het for boa woman caramel. You never know. Once again, this male also is a power het blood. And we'll see. This one's not locked or anything like that, but hopefully, maybe he'll breed her as well. So we'll see. We're gonna keep following these guys, not giving up on them. All right, here's another enormous female I have, who bred when she wasn't so enormous 2 years ago. Gave her the year off last year, or this year. So now we're gonna put her back in the breeding rotation. This is our Paraglow little girl. So she's a Hypo Paradigm being one copy of boa woman caramel, T positive, one copy of sharp albino. We get this like creamy looking intermediate, not quite albino, T negative, not quite T positive. We call this a Paradigm. With the Hypo gene, we call it a Paraglow. She just shed, so we got some nice coloration here. And she proved out 2 years ago to be 100% het for RDR black-eyed anery. Look at that. Look at that beautiful red eye she's got. And so she made my first blizzards for me and my first phantoms. The phantom is the blizzard with the boa woman caramel gene. So if you have a Paradigm, a Hypo Paradigm black-eyed anery, you'll get a phantom. If you have a Hypo sharp albino black-eyed anery, that's called a blizzard. And if you have the two copies of the Hypo gene, that's called a super blizzard. You've seen those the other day. They're the pure white snakes with red eyes. So we can, she's very versatile. We can make some really nice snakes. She's been eating really well, so we should get some nice size in her. So hopefully we'll put a male with her the next week or two, and hopefully we'll see some breeding action here coming up in the next couple of weeks. She's not going to want to go back in now, but it's okay. She got really big. You can see my hand. She's very thick now. She was not this thick when she actually had her litter, believe it or not. But that's what 2 years of growing will do to you. These boas keep continuing to grow their whole life, essentially. And here's another really big girl. She's another 19 that I purchased, or actually I got in a trade from Boa Basement, Doug Leucistic. And she was sold to me or traded to me as a Lavender line sharp albino. Some people would call it pastel. Doug seems to think it's a true breeding Lavender albino. We're gonna try to breed her to a sharp albino this year and see what we get. Assuming we're just gonna get some purplish looking babies. She's been growing for, like I said, since 2019. I actually paired her up last year with this boy who's in there with her now, which is a Fire Diamond het sharp albino, and we're gonna keep him in there this breeding season. Hopefully he'll get the job done this year. He's a little bigger, and we'll see if we can produce some cool sharp Lavender sharp albinos that have that Fire Diamond gene in it. So good things hopefully on the horizon. All right, now this is my blue line female import that I got from Europe a couple years back. Another 19. She actually produced 2 years ago. So she got the year off. She produced in her first possible year that she can breed. We got those really cool blue line babies. And I haven't decided who I'm going to be pairing her up again with this year, if anyone. She's definitely got her size back. She's looking great. She's doing well. She's eating great. So I might put her into the breeding rotation. I might go back to her with the blue line male again and try to produce some more really spectacular blue line babies. We'll have to see. I had other plans for him, but he might go back to this girl again. I haven't decided. So she's looking great. She's in good condition. Pablo's been we've been pumping the female boas with a lot of food the last couple weeks. Usually we feed them every other week. We've been going to every week now, bigger prey items to get them ready for this breeding season, because I usually don't breed. I don't usually feed, for 8 weeks when I'm actually start the breeding. So if, let's say December 1st, we start putting males in, or even November 1st, we won't feed for 8 weeks after that. So they got to be really well conditioned so they can focus exclusively on breeding. All right, here's my big scoria girl. This is my original I got back in 2016. And she was just a baby. Grew her up, she produced 1 litter. Tried to breed her last year, she did not go. She is huge. If you look at her, she's really big. And she's a good eater. She never stopped eating. And I guess she just didn't want to go last year, or maybe she didn't want to go to the male I bred her to. Now I got to think about who I want to put her with this year. I'm thinking maybe something along the lines of Labby or Fire. And the Scoria Labby Fires are really nice looking. I forget who made them that first year, but they were really kind of cool looking. So that's something to think about. I have other stuff. Sometimes I think putting pattern into Scoria is just better. IMG Motley, something like that. So we'll see. I haven't made an official decision who I'm going to pair her with, but I'll let you know when I do. All right, here's one of my biggest boas. Probably this might be the first boa I ever got. This is a super hypo call albino. She's beautiful, and unfortunately, for those of you guys who might want her, she has been sold. You have someone making payments on her. She's one of the boas I had listed, but she's looking so good because she just shed that I wanted to show you how gorgeous she is. When you have 2 copies of that hypo gene in a snake, really cleans up its pattern quite a bit. So even though when she was born, those little bow tie saddles, they were like bright red, and her body was snow white looking. And then of course, boas, as they get older, they get a little bit yellow. So she's got a little yellow tinge to her, and the bow ties went from red to orange, but she's still got that really clean look to her. And that's because of that 2 copies of that hypo gene. So beautiful. She's going to definitely, probably, if someone breeds her this year, the person who's buying her, make some nice babies. All right, here's our super mandarin belly leopard. This is a super hypo, sharp, this female, if I was a betting man and I would have bet on one boa having babies this past season, I would have put it on her. I was convinced. So locks, she was doing all the breeding behavior you normally see. She had stopped eating, just for a little bit briefly though. Then once she started eating, I knew there was something was wrong, but I definitely thought she was gonna go, and she just didn't. And hopefully this year she will. So now I gotta think about who I wanna pair her with. I had paired her with an albino eclipse, and that might've been the problem. He was unproven. Maybe he didn't get the job done. And I'm debating whether to put him back with her or to put something else with her. I'm thinking maybe go leopard, blood, head albino, even though she doesn't have albino in her. I think if we can produce mandarin belly leopards that have blood, I think that would be pretty cool. But there's a couple options. I haven't really decided. I mean, there's a lot I can do. I can go something onyx too and create allelic combinations, because remember, onyx and leopard are allelic. So I'm thinking maybe getting Honduran T positive into this, because I think a real T positive will bring out these colors even more. And so got to really sit down and think pretty hard about what I want to with this girl, but I think she's more than ready to go. So I got to make sure I get a male that's going to get the job done this time. All right, I've shown you this female before. Thought she might go also. We saw a lot of locks with her this past season, but she might have been a little on the younger side because she was a 19. I think now with another year of eating under her belt, I think she's going to be more mature, and I'm going to try to repeat this breeding. This is an IMG Roswell ladder tail motley, okay, which gives you a black snake. She's also het for red dragon, which means she's het for call albino and het for blood. She's about as black. You can't get any blacker than the snake. The snake is jet black. But IMG motleys get like this. I don't think the Roswell ladder tail gene, which gives that like ladder tailish look, is really adding or subtracting from the blackness of the snake. The key would be, what would a red dragon version of this look like? Probably pretty cool. I've seen some red dragon IMGs out there. I think a couple guys produced this past season and they were really nice. So we're gonna try it again. We'll put our red dragon to her and see if she goes. You know, Boas, I told you, will break your heart because you think you got everything down pat, you think they're big enough, you think all the conditions are right, and they just don't go. That's just, you know, when they're ready, they do. Sometimes they go younger, sometimes they have to wait till they're 6 or 7 years old. There's no rules, and you cannot get upset about it because that's just the way it is. But you can see this girl is absolutely, reminds you of the horse black beauty. She's absolutely gorgeous. All right, here's our Hypo leopard, het call albino. I've been trying to produce a Hypo eclipse, which would be a Hypo version of the leopard with the motley gene. And this is my best chance of doing it. All my other stuff doesn't have Hypo in it. I have produced a lot of eclipse stuff, but just without the Hypo gene. So as you can see, when you add Hypo to leopard, you get a much redder looking snake, and because it strips away some of that melanin. The question is, who do we breed her to? I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but she's looking really nice, and I think that I might even go with my eclipse, or I should say my albino eclipse male that didn't breed the other one, didn't breed our super mandarin belly leopard, and try them on her. You may have better luck. We'll have a much better chance of albino eclipses and sun eclipses, which would be the Hypo albino eclipse. So haven't decided if I'm going to go there yet. She's a little bit of a finicky eater. She's not quite as big as she should be because she's a sporadic eater, but we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Sometimes age is more important than size, and I think she's got the age for sure. And we'll wrap up today with our video of Boas that I'll be breeding this season. And I've shown you her before, but she's so beautiful looking. She just shed again that I had to show her again. This is our IMG, increasing melanistic gene, sharp sun glow. So it's a Hypo albino of the sharp line. And I'm really, really thinking that I want to breed my blue line pastel sun glow to this girl. Really thinking about it hard and long because she is just spectacular, and I really think that blue is going to bring out a lot more colors with the IMG. I don't know if I've seen any blue line IMG, so I want to see if the IMG gene will give us more blues or darker blues. That's something that interests me. So that's like a first generation, easy plug and play. Everything will be sharp albino. 50% of them should be IMG, and then how much blue they get is just really dependent on luck. So the bluest ones hopefully will be IMG, and we'll see. Does IMG influence the blue pastel line of breeding? And that might be a good experiment to do. And so I'm very heavily favoring that pairing, and I do have some other possibilities, but at this point I think that's going to be my go-to breeding. I would like to repeat the breeding of the blue line to blue line again, But then again, I'm trying to think, what should I breed to this girl? And I think that that's the best bet. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today here at Palumbo's Pythons and Boas. Hope you enjoyed today's video of our big female boas. Some of them bigger than others. These were all the juicy Colombian ones, as I call them, that are going to be producing hopefully lots of babies, lots of goo. These were not dwarf boas. We've done other videos on those before, but these were our big Colombian girls, and hopefully we're going to get all these good. We always hope that we're going to get every single one of them to breed. If we get 50%, I always consider that a success story, and so we'll see. This year we had a pretty good success. We probably went 50% this year, which I should say was good because we did breed a lot of females together. But so it's disappointing when, you know, some of the girls don't go and some of them slug out or some of them just reabsorb their follicles. But that's part of the breeding boa game. Get used to it. That's why it's good to have a nice little selection to pick from. So if some of them don't go and some do, at least you're not let down. So yeah, this past year was pretty good. We had some pretty nice boa litters. Hopefully we can repeat that this coming season. If you like what you're seeing here, guys, and you want more, show us the love, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.